Hello, friends, family, and fellow travelers. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from Theory Underground. I'm David McKerracher, and I am announcing my gift to you all. This holiday season, I am releasing, like an advent calendar until Christmas, a daily installment of The Idea of the University by Karl Jaspers, read aloud by yours truly. I hope that some of you who would not have had the time or energy to actually get to it otherwise will be able to listen to it. Treat it like an advent calendar, listen to it daily, or you can binge on it later. On Christmas Day, I'll be releasing all of the tracks all in one big file for those people who don't have YouTube Premium and are incapable of listening from YouTube while working because of all the advertising. Okay, so if that's your situation, don't worry. There will be a special version for you that comes out on Christmas Day. But for everyone else, it's being released serially, and I serially hope you enjoy it. The Idea of the University by Karl Jaspers is an original, primary, and very short, important work on the almost Platonic idea of the university. I think we spend so much time being critical of education today, or of what has become of it, I guess we would call that schooling as opposed to education, that I think it's important to also contemplate and seriously think about the ideals against which we judge existing institutions. What are the goals that we should be aiming towards? What is the ideal of higher education? I mean, we're adults. We're not being forced to learn. We learn because we want to, because it is in our nature as individuals who crave freedom to be able to research those things that interest us and to pursue truth. The pursuit of truth and of research as adults who are not being forced to sit there in a schooling system is of the utmost importance to Theory Underground and all of the work that I'm doing. So it's something that I hope others will also benefit from thinking about. Also, and this is very important obviously, on January 14th begins a course that is being taught by yours truly, as well as Brian Weeks and Ann Snellgrove, two educators who I've had a lot of really good conversations over the last 4 to 7 years talking about education and the crises that it faces today. So it's going to be a very special occasion to have the three of us together, all people who've taught in the university or in high schools, getting together and talking about what it means, like what is the actual ideal that we want to strive towards. And this will be an opportunity for anybody who's actually doing the reading to participate in the lectures and discussions and on the forum. And so if you want to sign up for that, it's theory-underground.com/courses/TIOTU, which is the acronym or the abbreviated form of The Idea of the University. Link down below. And then I guess the final thing that I should say, I'll just read it as a sort of disclaimer, but be advised the point of this text is not that any of us believe everything it says, but that we should read it, take it to heart, and give it its due before getting critical, because it is a very important contribution to any hope of redeeming higher education from the damage done to it by politically sectarian and capitalist neoliberal interventions. And then finally, to stress the importance of this work, I'm going to read from the back of the book. The Idea of the University is actually a book that is being published and distributed by people who are not interested in holding copyright over it. And so it has been released to the public domain. I'll read from the back of the book. This work has been selected by scholars as being culturally important and is part of the knowledge base of civilization as we know it. This work is in the public domain of the United States of America and possibly other nations. Within the United States, you may freely copy and distribute this work, as no entity, individual or corporate, has a copyright on the body of the work. Scholars believe, and we concur, that this work is important enough to be preserved, reproduced, and made generally available to the public. We appreciate your support of the preservation process and thank you for being an important part of keeping this knowledge alive and relevant. Published by Hassel Street Press an imprint of Creative Media Partners. So thank you, Hassel and Creative Media Partners, for making that available. The last thing I'll read, a note about the author at the end of the book. It says, Professor Karl Jaspers is equally outstanding as an authority on philosophy, psychiatry, and literature. He is known throughout the academic world as an exponent of existentialism and as one of the greatest figures in German university life, who refused to support Hitler and continued to stand by his refusal inside Germany throughout the Nazi regime. After the defeat of Hitler, Jaspers was one who forced German academicians to face the inescapable responsibility for their own share of guilt in bowing to Hitler. At present, he is professor of philosophy at the University of Basel, Switzerland. So I think that Karl Jaspers is criminally underrated in this world, and partially because, as you will get the drift when you actually engage this text, he's not very postmodern. And I think that he's going to say a lot of things that will run counter to some postmodern common sense. And at the end of the day, I think it's very important, even when he might factually be off in some way. It's worth taking to heart and thinking seriously about, and not just dismissing because you've dogmatically bought into some contrary presuppositions. That's my take. And so I will be reading it without my commentary. And then if you actually want some help elucidating what's in the work, then definitely sign up for our lectures on it. As far as critiquing it, I probably won't be doing that until significantly later in the year. All right, everyone, thank you so much. Take care. Merry Christmas.